Hola amigos, and welcome back to my channel. Something funny happened the other day. I was teaching a little English to our homeschool group. Nothing serious, just vocabulary, colors, and whatever random objects the kids handed me. And when we got to the bottle of cooking oil, the kind almost every family uses, I paused, smiled, and said one word: poison, the one word that stopped the room. Now, I didn't expect the reaction I got. Every parent froze. Some leaned in. One dad even tilted his head like a confused golden retriever, because none of them had ever heard anyone talk about oil that way, even though the label literally says highly refined, which is marketing language for we blasted this with chemistry until it forgot what planet it came from. And in that tiny moment, standing in a classroom full of kids, crayons, and curious parents, I remembered something. People don't question what they're used to. They question what breaks the pattern. That's why I love these conversations, because our job, yours and mine, isn't just to feed our kids food. It's to feed them awareness, to turn the invisible forces of modern life into lessons our kids can grow from, to show them the invisible decisions that shape their lives long before they're old enough to read a nutrition label. The world is full of products designed for profit, not people. And when we peel back the curtain, even just a little, it can feel, honestly, magical, like discovering the strings behind a puppet show. Now, let's visit the food that wasn't food. Here's the strange thing about seed oils. For almost all of human history, I'm talking billions of meals, people cooked with simple things: butter, tallow, lard, coconut, olive oil. Things you could make with your hands, or with a stone, or with patience. Seed oils? They're new. They didn't exist in any meaningful way until machines, chemicals, and industrial processing arrived. These oils weren't discovered. They were manufactured, engineered into existence because someone realized the factory was throwing away something that could be turned into profit. Cottonseed oil, the first big one, was literally waste. Industrial waste. They used it for lamps, lubricants, and machine parts. Nobody looked at cottonseed sludge and thought, delicious. No, someone said, if we bleach it enough and deodorize it enough, maybe people won't notice. And this is how one of the most influential food trends in history began. Not from nature, not from health, but from economics and chemistry. Now here's the plot twist that feels like it was written by a comedian with a deep love for history. Henry Ford enters the chat. Henry Ford, yes, the car guy, becomes a major character in the seed oil story. Ford believed factories and farms should shake hands. He wanted to grow car parts from crops, so he poured money into soy research. And his scientists discovered that soybean oil could be turned into plastics, paints, coatings, even car components. He literally built a prototype car from soy-based plastic and then hit it with an axe to prove how tough it was. Ford's dream was noble: help farmers, build sustainably, create a future where machines and nature collaborate. But there was a side effect he didn't intend. Millions of acres of soy were suddenly planted. Processing plants exploded. Soybean oil became abundant. And more importantly, cheap. When something becomes cheap in America, one thing is guaranteed: someone will find a way to put it in food. The quiet takeover. Soon, and quietly, we replaced almost every cooking fat in the diet with seed oils. Not because they were healthy, not because they were tested, not because humans evolved eating them, but because they were profitable, easy to mass produce, and easy to market. This is one of those invisible shifts that changes the world without ever asking permission. And this, right here, is where the parenting lesson appears. Now, teaching our kids to see the unseen. We don't tell this story to scare our kids. We tell it to wake them up, to show them the architecture of decisions behind the modern world. Products designed for profit, convenience, shelf life, and dependency. We tell it so they learn to ask, where did this come from? Why is it here? Who benefits if I believe this is normal? These questions build leaders. They build adults who aren't easily manipulated. They build kids who grow up with discernment, with eyes that see beneath the surface. Because if a child learns to question a bottle of oil, they will later question the world. What we model matters more than what we say. In our home, we keep things simple. If a food has been part of the human story for thousands of years, we trust it. If a food requires a chemistry lab to exist, we pause, not out of fear, out of awareness. Because the goal isn't to create perfect children. The goal is to create awake children. Children who recognize patterns, question assumptions, and understand the difference between what is natural, what is engineered, and what is marketed. The all moment. Seed oils aren't just a nutrition topic. They're a window, a reminder that modern life is full of invisible influences shaping how we think, eat, behave, and spend money. And when we gently expose these hidden mechanisms to our kids, something amazing happens. They develop a kind of quiet power, the kind that comes from seeing truth where others only see routine. And that right there is the foundation of leadership. The choices we make become the stories they inherit. So next time you're cooking dinner, or walking through a grocery store, or teaching a simple English class, take a moment to pause, ask a question, tell a story, because in the end, our kids don't grow from the food we put on the table. They grow from the wisdom we place beside it. This is Parenting 365, raising kids who see clearly, think deeply, and lead quietly. Adios, amigos. Until the next time, enjoy your journey, and I have a few more parenting tips coming soon.